Welcome to the Bitcoin Sage Show. I'm your host Patrick, and welcome to another episode. Today it is December 14th, around 8:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get started with the news today. Okay, I've adjusted the screen so hopefully we won't get any cut off today. So, are Bitcoin salaries the future? This Japanese company thinks so. Actually, over the last year, all the companies that I've been dealing with in this space have been interesting to share that a lot of companies have gone to Bitcoin instead of fiat. I mean, I'm pretty excited about all the employees I knew that were accepting 1 or 2 Bitcoins a month as a salary now that Bitcoin's at 17,000. That's a pretty awesome salary if you're getting now around $32,000 a month. I'm sure there's going to be some adjustments to Bitcoin salaries. Or I wonder how the negotiation of a contract will work, or whether they'll renegotiate contracts if you're promised 2 Bitcoins a month and then Bitcoin goes to $100,000 a month or $100,000 and then you're getting that a month. It's incredible to see what's happening, but I definitely think this is a trend that's going to continue on in the future. And now I think Japan and most of Asia is going full force into this. So you'll see a big move there. And I think it's already happening here with those who have jumped into it with both feet, and will continue to happen with other coins as well. It'll be very interesting to see how we can deal with, employment contracts based on coins that are, pretend in some ways. Anyways, let's go on to the next one. So these guys want to lend you money against your Bitcoin. This is obviously a very big business out there, and I think it's important that everybody kind of watches this in general and keeps an eye out for the businesses out there that promise you money against your Bitcoin, and the regulators behind some of this stuff. These are some of the best spots where Ponzi schemes can be started, because you're not really sure what they're doing with this money and how they're collateralizing these loans and whether they're actually keeping all of this stuff balanced the way they should. So I'll keep this in the description. Next is the Bitcoin trading thrives wherever regulators crack down most. This is kind of exciting because I think people think that once regulators come on board that it'll destroy trading or it'll stop it outright. But I think in many ways, the more regulators come into the picture and work with exchanges to properly facilitate the information they need, it just makes people more comfortable in throwing in $100, $1,000, $10,000 into some of these investments and not having as much of a worry because they can get it through their banks or through their trading accounts. So I think that's absolutely right. I think this is nothing but good news. You're going to see more people trading. Just like 2 or 3 days ago, I think we saw the bottom of at least the altcoin bottom of that trading in general. Everything's seen a huge rebound, and even more people are just flooding into the smaller altcoins. Like what I've seen with Litecoin and Ripple is just unbelievable. So Ripple's just on an incredible tear as well. And if you had bought the bottom, you've more than doubled your money already in 2 days. So with the bottoming of the altcoin, as long as Bitcoin doesn't rip out to 25,000, we might see some incredible wins there. So next, Miami goes on the market. Miami penthouse goes on the market for 33 Bitcoin. Cash not accepted. I think this is actually what gets more of the government and regulators' eyes opening, because this is what scares them the most, that transactions can start happening on a large scale and they'll have no purview into those transactions. In this case, I'm sure they're probably sending some people to try to find out if they can buy it, just to see what the address is. I'll be very interested to see, how does someone give this address out to send the money? I'm guessing it's going to be a lawyer using an escrow account, or anyways, a lot of new industries are going to be created, a lot of new products and apps that are going to be created that will be used by real estate agents and lawyers to facilitate these types of transactions properly. Also gives me a lot of hope for the smart contracts of the future. So this Inc.com article, is the Bitcoin bubble about to burst? Some say the crash is around the corner. This is a tough one, I think, because a lot of traditional investors and folks from the traditional markets are trying to apply a lot of the same logic to Bitcoin, which I totally get, and I did for the longest time as well. but I think that Bitcoin is more of an adoption rate curve than it is an actual, regular stock chart, because it's true. Everybody I know who trades options or any kind of a derivative were just waiting for the fall from 17, 18,000, 19,000 down, back down to 1 or 2,000. Nobody expected it to actually hold. Nobody expected it to have, these bounce backs that it's been having. So I don't believe there's a monster crash around the corner, and if there is, you can see the buy orders all the way down, and I agree that this is one of the only investments where I know more people waiting to buy a lot more at lower prices, and that never happened back in the dot-com age. I think it was a quote I read on Twitter where I don't know if anybody back in 2001 said, "Oh, I can't wait till pets.com drops 50% so I can back up the truck and buy some more pet.com shares." Whereas in Bitcoin, there's way more people I know that would love to see the price go back down to 5,000 or below so they could back the truck up and get as much Bitcoin as they possibly can. Next, Bitcoin futures here. Everything looks positive today. Everything's up a couple $100, so we should continue to see a rise up. Let's look at our capitalization and breakdown of dominancy today. Today's breakdown is pretty much the same as yesterday's, just a little bit of a different mix. And we'll get started with some charts right now. So let's start with Bitcoin. As you can see, it's continuing through this trend line. Let's see where it goes from here. Saw a lot of exciting action over the last couple hours as she bounced all the way up to 17,150. Again, I'm using GDAX here for podcast listeners. We saw a lot of nice bouncing off of 16,800, and we're within all these trend lines. We're above the 50-day moving average. I'm going to continue to watch what we're doing here. Use 16,385 as your lower level resistance, and let's see if we can break through 17,000 and see if we can make another run up over 17,610. Jump to Ethereum. Has been on a tear, just an incredible tear, and hit our resistance at 0.0449 and has been consolidating, coming back a little bit. A lot of these have just made some incredible runs, so expect a bit of a pullback. If you haven't sold at the tops, then expect some consolidation. Same thing, we saw some big moves starting to go with our good friend here, Bcash. Let's see, Litecoin, same thing. Actually, it's nicely consolidating sideways in preparation for either a fall apart, so it's kind of breaking some resistance here. So I would be careful with this Litecoin. It's gone up incredibly well, so everything has as well. Let's jump to Neo. Neo's doing well. Again, everything seems to be in pullback mode today. Let's jump to Ripple. I've been trading this a little bit. Incredible. So it fell apart last night a little bit, but has been recovering and is now hitting some new highs. I don't know what to say about this. It's broken through every single one of these levels that we have on the chart and continues to go forward. I think you're going to see a lot of money going into these lower cost altcoins, and you're seeing it with Ripple, you're seeing it with Litecoin, Ethereum. I think people are just not interested in spending the 17,000 to get one Bitcoin. They want their single units of whatever coin it is to feel whole. So I think you're going to see a continued flood to some of these lower priced coins that people are happy with. And I think it's true. Watch what Coinbase adds and be very careful. As soon as Coinbase adds a coin to their list, I think that's another one to add to your top 5 or 10 holdings. Zcash as well had a nice rip. It is now recovering, but is bouncing again. I like Zcash a lot. I've been watching that one very carefully and accumulating it at some of the lower levels, and very happy to see it break out again. Hopefully it'll get back above 0.290, and then we'll see another rip forward. Let's see, what else do we got here? I'm not going to cover any of the what I consider shit coins on our podcast or on the video, but I will cover those on a different one. Not today, and I'll share that with you guys tomorrow. So let's watch Bitcoin. It should break through these levels. And again, watch those altcoins. If Bitcoin does break out and start shooting up above 17,000, let's say 800 to 18,000, I expect the altcoin party to be halted, dramatically. So if we break over 18,000 on Bitcoin, the altcoin party is done. So watch that very carefully, guys. And last thing on the list here is an interview with Roger Ver by awesome Jimmy Song. His video series on YouTube is called Off the Chain with Jimmy Song. I highly recommend that. Jimmy Song's a great programming developer for Bitcoin blockchain technology. Awesome interviews. Take a look at this one. I'll add it in the description below. And that's it. Let's trade some coins today, guys, and let's make some money. Again, watch out for Bitcoin pricing and look for a little bit of a pullback in these altcoins. But let's see if Bitcoin breaks out above that 17,800, 18,000 level. Have a great day, everybody.